Here we are, OneNGlen, checking back in from home, my home garage. As you can see behind me, we got a, what year is this, Tim?
2019.
2019 Dodge 1500 in blue. Similar to my buddy's blue that we did the side rails on. Today, we're gonna be giving you a tutorial on how to install the MotoFab. This is a 2.5-inch leveling kit, so it's just gonna go on the front. So this is MotoFab lifts, leveling kit, made in the USA. Install 1.5 to 2 hours. Pretty basic. I watched a couple people's videos online and it looks like it should be a pretty, painless job. I have all the tools for it. And we have Marie's favorite cousin in the whole wide world. Tim is with us.
Yep. Eat your heart out, Joy.
That's right. I talked about Tim's dad, Uncle Tim, in one of my previous videos. The #1 family, OneNGlen subscriber YouTuber. Anyways, this is his truck. And so we're going to install this lift kit on it. We're going to do a little tutorial on how to do it. We'll knock out the first side first to see how everything goes and work out our kinks. And then we'll film on the second side so it should be smoother.
Yes.
Sounds good?
Sounds good.
We're also going to be installing a Flowmaster, not a full exhaust. This is just what?
It's the muffler. It's the Outlaw series. It's one of the more aggressive ones. Right now, I'm just doing the muffler. I'm not doing a resonator delete. It can be ran with a resonator or without a resonator. The reason I'm leaving the resonator on, just in case it's so loud and I live in a city neighborhood. See how loud it does get.
Yeah. We don't want to piss off the neighbors.
Well, I don't like my neighbors anyway.
Oh, well, in that case. All right, so we got the the leveling kit, and we have the exhaust going on. So we'll get cracking. We'll do one side, and then we'll come in and we'll give you the tutorial on the other side after we worked out our kinks on how to do this bad boy. All right, here we are checking in. We got the first side done. Way easier actually than the tutorial videos and the people that did the videos made it seem. I thought when we were going to get the front spacer on there, it was going to be really tough to get the bottom of that strut back on over the A-arm, the lower A-arm. But it wasn't too bad. We got two people here obviously, so it wasn't too bad. A couple of things that are different that I noticed on this 2019 versus what the other videos showed is your track bar or stabilizer bar or whatever this thing is called on this truck that has the little end links on there. They show in the videos that they're vertical studs and you hit them from the top, but on this 2019 they're actually horizontal. So I'll show you what I mean on this one. So this end link right here goes in through the side like this, not through up and down vertically like the videos I've seen. This one is on. We just got to hit those top strut bolts, and this is on. So this one's all set up, ready to go. Now we're going to go through the other side, which is pretty quick. All right, so what we did was some of the videos tell us to take off the whole brake assembly and hang it. All right, so we just took the caliper off itself, which was pretty easy. Smack it like you mean it, Tim. We hang it right to the stabilizer bar, actually. Back to the stabilizer bar.
I need a tie wrap.
Let me show you that real quick. All right, so the caliper we just hang from the stabilizer bar. We got our end link off here. We did that when we did the other side. So our end link's off there. Next, you take off, well here, let me actually take these little things out. This is for your ABS. There's another one back here that you kind of just pull out of this little slide. And really that is enough. That is enough slack that you don't need to take the whole entire caliper off, or the whole brake assembly, that whole stuff. You don't need to do all that. Next thing is a 21mm for the upper A-arm, I guess this thing would be called, and your tie rod. So 21mm hits both those off there, and then those will be free, and then your whole independent suspension will just kind of set freely. So if you want to hit those, Tim.
Yeah.
Milwaukee. Tighten it up.
Huh?
Tighten it up and then retake it off. Hit it again. Boom. That's what we noticed the last time. If the actual tie rod link starts spinning, jam it back in there and then spin it back off with your impact and it comes off. Shout out to Tyler for the recommendation to Marie on the Milwaukee Fuel M18 blah blah blah. Thing's a beast.
Can't go wrong with Milwaukee.
Okay, make sure you just now thread it back on there, just like 3 threads. And so once you take that bottom bolt off there, what we're gonna do is thread it on, and Tim's gonna smash the top knuckle on there to get the A-arm portion, or whatever you call it. Now the front side right here.
Right. You have that pry bar?
Here, I got you. OneNGlen's gonna swack this sucker. Boom.
He's just a show off.
Dun dun dun! You're filming yourself.
Am I? Yeah. I filmed myself the whole time then.
Take your pry bar here, set it underneath the spring. Like this. I don't know if you can see it, it's getting dark.
There we go.
Oh, now that whole thing is out of there. Now, that's it really.
We gotta loosen the top here.
Yeah, we gotta loosen the top. Those are
The
16 millimeters. Yep, here's a 16 millimeter. And we gotta tighten the top of the shock on the other side too. So you loosen the shocks, bolts on the top. There's 3 16 millimeters. Deep socket will do. You can get in there, there's plenty of room to get in there with your hands. And then the bottom bolt of the strut is a 24 millimeter on one side, 21 millimeter on the other side. We hit, the nut side is 24 millimeter. The 21 millimeter side, we actually had to hold that one because it kept spinning, so we had to hold that one in there. All right, next step, we'll show you how to get the shock off after you got everything unbolted. All right, so one thing I want to point out real quick is when you get this spacer, these bolts on the front here are not installed. I've seen a couple different videos where guys go from the back side like this, and so they're already pre-studded in here. I've also seen videos of guys that mount this, and then when they go to, let me see if I can hold this. When they go to install this, they install it blank, and they put the bolts from the top side down through this top of the upper strut housing. I don't really like that idea, so we're not doing that. I feel like it's right to have it pre-studded like this and use the bolts that it came with in order to put them on. So that is how we're doing it. We're not doing it the other way. So we pre-put this onto the top of the housing. We use Loctite on the bolts. Let's see, it only goes on one way, it says.
Right, you have to adjust it to go on a certain way. The holes they'll line up perfectly.
There you go.
In this case, since it's just a spacer, you don't have to remove the shock. You just pull the whole shock and strut out.
How's it going, dudes?
Oh, hey, Lover Buns.
Everybody's still alive?
Hey, Lover Buns. Thanks
I'm
for
missing a finger.
Lover Buns.
So there's a couple of options. You could get the spacer, which is a lot cheaper than replacing your shocks and struts. Shocks. A couple different companies make adjustable shocks, so you could go up to 3 inches on the shocks. But considering the truck's still in warranty, it might be a question of warranty, and sometimes the dealer wants to change those out themselves in order for you to keep the warranty. So this is a cheaper solution to level your truck and make it higher, and then you could go with different wheels, tires, whatever you want, because you got the more spacing. So right now we're putting the thread lock on here. This will just help the bolts stay in place, and whoever works on it next will be probably me, be going crazy to try to get the bolts off.
No, they'll come off.
I know.
I use thread locker on almost anything. That Milwaukee, take anything off.
Yeah, well, getting up into that strut tower is...
That's true, actually.
Kind of interesting. Right. So then you got to line up the holes, which I can't do very well because...
He's a Marine.
Well, you're the one dumb enough to jump out of an airplane, so... Jump out of an airplane like I worked on, so think about that. Maybe it's a good thing you had a parachute.
Exactly.
You drop the bolts in there, just make sure you don't cross-thread it, because you can't back-thread it to make sure it's not cross-thread, because you can't get your hands in there. And then you tighten it down, and it'll be ready to go.
So after we tighten those down and we get them all cinched up, the whole strut assembly, the strut now has to go in 180. So the triangle portion of the bolt pattern, the bolt needs to come to the front side. Anyways, we'll show you what that looks like. It's, if you could put a, you know how to match up your shapes, you'll be good to go with this one. Not a bad install, actually. Pretty easy. The only thing Tim will have to do when he's done in the next day or two is get a alignment. He'll probably drive it and just see how it is. But from everything I saw and read on the internet, they recommend an alignment. So Tim will be able to drive it and see how it feels and see whether he needs an alignment or not. Probably just do it just to be safe. So here's how it is mounted. You got your 3 bolts. It's a 2.5-inch spacer that sits, you know, just right here. And that's pretty much, this is the lift. This is your basic leveling kit, and this is what we're going to be putting on. All right, so we got the strut. It's kind of dark here. Anyways, the strut is right here. Dang, it's too dark. And then I just have it bolted on very lightly at the top. What we are going to do is press down on the back of here, and we're going to get it in the farthest, most back position on this A-arm. Just slide it up, which worked really well. And then we'll work on getting it into the main pinhole there. So I'm not going to record this because it's going to take 2 of us to do it. All right, so once we got this all in here, we got that bottom bolt on. Way easier actually this time around. It went in super easy. Now we put the jack underneath our whole knuckle here. We're going to lift it up and pry down on the upper, that bar. Pry down on it, because this bolt's got to go into the top of the knuckle here. Same thing, we'll do our tie rod. So put the jack underneath there, jack it up, pull down on it, and it should go right in. It'll be super easy. 21 millimeter, knocks both those out. All right, so we got the lift kit on the front, leveling kit installed. Thing looks badass. We didn't do it before and after, so that kind of sucks. We wrapped up the install of the leveling kit on the 2019 Dodge Ram 1500. We also wrapped up the exhaust for that as well. Both videos are going to play in one just kind of long video. I'll start with the exhaust first, actually. The exhaust came with everything you need straight from Flowmaster. Very easy, actually. The instructions were very detailed. It was a very easy install. You could do one person in less than probably 25 minutes. Knowing how to do it now, if I had to do it again, I could do it, you know, probably 15 minutes from start to finish. The exhaust will be off. And it's a Dodge truck, so it has enough ground clearance. I didn't need to lift the truck at all to get underneath there. So that was awesome. I'll do the before and after clips right after this kind of summary of the exhaust so you can hear and see the difference of those. The lift, with very basic tools. I have nothing super crazy. I have a pry bar. The only thing I would say that is an expensive tool that is probably a must just to make your life easier is an impact gun. So I have the Milwaukee Fuel M18, the new style brushless motors or whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it. Anyways, if you have something like that, it makes your job a lot easier, but it's not necessary. Very basic tools, wrenches, pliers, socket sets, 1/2 inch and 3/8. We got the job done, never doing a lift on a truck like this before. We got it done in about an hour and a half. And that was doing one side, kind of figuring it out, and then knocking the second side out. The second side went way easier than the first side. I would say you do need 2 people, because when you put the spacer on top of your strut and put it in there, one person's really got to kind of push down on that, the A-arm or whatever I don't know what it's called. But one person should really push down on it, and the other one use the pry bar to kind of get the bottom of the strut that's like this seated where it needs a seat. They say it's like a 4 out of 5 of an install. I would say it's probably 2 out of 5 with basic tools. I mean, you got a floor jack, you got jack stands to lift it in the air, and basic tools you can do it. I thought it was very easy. I am not a mechanic. I feel like I'm pretty decent mechanically inclined. I do some, I don't know, Jeep install stuff, full suspensions on Jeeps, all kinds of stuff. But all of it is just bolt on. No cutting, no welding, no crazy tools, none of that stuff. So I would give it like a 2 out of 5 on the install list. Just a little bit of time, and if you can navigate instructions, if you can watch YouTube, you can find anything you want there. We did not take pictures before the truck had it installed, so I don't know what we were thinking. Anyways, I'm going to show the video of the walk around right after this, of the lift kit, and then we'll do the sound check on the muffler. The muffler I did before and after, a sound check on that. So I'll have all that following here. Good to see you, Tim, my man, showing up. Uncle Tim, I know you'll be watching this. Big Mike, Marie sent you guys some pictures, I heard. All right, hope you enjoy this video. A little long, but it's a good couple installs. The muffler, I didn't show any install videos. I'm telling you, it is straightforward. It's 2 bolts. You pull the hangers out from the top, and you take a Sawzall and you cut it where it tells you to cut it. 1.25 inches off of your stock muffler. Zip that sucker right off with a Sawzall, and the new muffler literally just goes right up there. It is, anybody can do that if you have a Sawzall and a socket set. That is all you need. Nothing else. Sawzall, socket set. I got some people to shout out. If you watch Half Fast 719, my buddy Fonzo has a ton of diesel stuff on there. Check him out. He's always got good stuff. I have another buddy I serve with. If you are a cigar smoker, he does a ton of reviews on all these crazy cigars. Funny dude. Look him up. Cigar Sherpa on YouTube. So it's pretty quiet. Exhaust is over here. Rev it! Alright, OneNGlen. We put the exhaust on. Super easy. You cut one portion of the exhaust and then it literally just bolts on. It was like, what, 15 minutes, Tim?
15 and a half hour. The hardest part was
super easy.
The hangers off.
Yeah, we bought a hanger tool, so those came out pretty easy. But here's the overall truck right now, and then we're gonna fire it up and you can hear the exhaust on it as well. Here's the truck, 2019 Dodge Ram 1500.
Yep.
So this is our leveling kit. This wasn't too bad of an install. It's pretty, I would say it's actually pretty easy. So we'll have to call Tim later on and see how his drive home was, see if it needs an alignment or if he noticed any issues or I don't know, whatever. All right, let's fire this thing up. All right, here we are. This is with the Flowmaster exhaust. Definitely a deeper tone to it, so it sounds good. All right, go ahead. Go again. That thing sounds good. Flowmaster for the win. Easy install. That was good. I would say I'd give that a 1 out of 1 for easy. If you have a Sawzall, that's all you need.
And your hanger tool.
And a OneNGlen and a hanger tool. If you don't have a hanger tool, then you better have muscles. That's why I had to get a hanger tool, because I don't have muscles. So
you got the hanger tool from me.
Exactly. Tim bought the hanger tool.
I replaced the exhaust on 2 different cars. I know what it is.
Exactly.
So if you're wondering about the leveling kit, it's MotoFab lifts. They're $65.
Made in the USA.
Made in USA. Like I said, there's different. You could go with shocks and everything, which is, I think, better. But then you avoid the warranty, or a lot of times they want you to install them at the dealer, which costs you $1,000.
Yeah.
So,
OneNGlen and Marine Tim. for the install on the lift kit and the exhaust. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Agnes for letting me come over to do it.
Anyone else?
My dad, since he watches this religiously.
Uncle Tim, the super fan. All right, that's it for today. OneNGlen out. See you, YouTubers.